Good evening and welcome. I am MathNut, and tonight I will be playing some more Keyforge. Hopefully I've got my Twitch page set up correctly now, but um, it's really hard to find people on Twitch playing Keyforge because it's kind of messed up because there's not a tag for Keyforge. In any event, I will be playing a deck that I took into the Crucible tournament sponsored by the Keyforge game website, not the official one, the unofficial one. I forget exactly what it is, but I tried it on Tuesday, and I did poorly, to say the least. So I'm going to try it again to convince myself that the deck is actually still good, and that it was just an oddity that I did so poorly in my first match. I have tried to find somebody online to play against. I got nothing. So I will instead just be playing against random people until somebody pings me and says, "Hey, you want to play?" Wow, that's a lot of people online. All right, play. I will be doing a new game. Sure, spectators can see my hand and start. As I said, I'll be playing Una Spring Cardine Tiger, which went very poorly for me on Tuesday. I still love this deck. I think it is really, really strong. And I have questions. Questions. Alright, so I will be going first, which means mulliganing is a potential really good thing to do. I could also call Shadows and throw Bullet Eye out right off the bat. I'm going to do that. That is a remarkably good first turn play. Not the best, but really good. Because he's hard to kill off. My opponent is playing a deck combination that can do it pretty easily. I mean, Dis has plenty of removal options, although the single target removal option, Hand of Dis, would not apply here because this is on a flank. I should probably say what Bullet Eye is and does. He's a 2-power shadow creature that is elusive, and, well, there you go, right away. Orbital Bombardment. Gets 2 damage. And then makes me discard my Shadow Self. And my Nexus. That was painful. That was just mean. Alright, well, we'll call... Oof. Wow, we'll call Untamed and throw out Hunting Witch and Mermook on the left and Way of the Bear. And we'll put Way of the Bear on... It doesn't really matter, I'm just playing it for the Amber. Mermook. Yeah, that was a very powerful deep probe that he pulled off there. The deep probe, you pick a house, and your opponent discards all the creatures in that house in their hand. And of course, Orbital Bombardment lets him do 2 damage for every Mars card that he reveals from his hand, which killed off my 2-power creature, Bullet Eye. Bullet Eye is amazing. When he reaps, he just destroys a creature that is on the flank. Which is why I wanted to play him turn 1, but he very thoroughly had an answer to that. So, he killed off Mermook instead of Hunting Witch? Okay, he's going to have something else. Because Hunting Witch... Between Mermook and Hunting Witch, you kill Hunting Witch. I'm going to call this. And I'm going to play Pit Demon on the left. Put an Amber on either spider. Play Tentacus on the left. Put an Amber on either spider. And I missed that he played an Ember Imp. So that's all I can do, which is unfortunate. I will discard this card and in turn. Yeah, that is unfortunate. I should have been paying better attention. The Ember Imp means I can only play 2 cards in a turn. There wasn't really a way in my hand to kill that Ember Imp. There wasn't really anything I could have done. Probably still called this even if I'd realized it, but I might have played... No, I think I still would have played that turn exactly the way I played it. So, I had missed that it was there. It was a mistake on my part, but it wasn't a catastrophic one. Welcome, Slow Cool. I don't know if you're a bot or not. I feel like you are. I've seen your name frequently enough, you've never said anything in chat. But it's also possible you don't speak English, which makes listening to me on an English channel kind of odd, but you know, what have you. Uxlix the Zookeeper. That's that's a significant problem. That's a very significant problem. Very significant problem. I'm going to call disc because the only way I'm going to get back into this is to gain some control of this board. Oh, but yeah, if I call anything but dis here, play out my shadows creatures, he will kill off Dodger. 5, 7, 6. Maybe he wouldn't kill off Dodger. But he would take one of the creatures into his archive, and I just fall further and further behind. If I call Dis, he will get Tentacus into his archive, which is regrettable. But I can clear the board with the Either key. And I can go ahead and use Tentacus to kill off the Ember Imp. Which opens up my ability to actually play on my later turns. But this is not a great start. Uxlix the Zookeeper is ridiculously powerful. He's a card I would rather not have seen come down when he came down. And he has to assume I'm going to key to Dis. Putting that out there here basically says, come and get me. If I were him, I would call Mars and just reap across the board. And he's calling Mars. And he's going to reap across the board. Now, this is, of course, a problem for me. I'm going to call... Ooh. I'm going to call Shadows here, because my two plays are obviously either Shadows or Untamed, because this is an Omni artifact. I can use it no matter what I end up calling. So I'm going to be able to wipe his board. I will get back this 4 Amber. If I call Untamed, I would Full Moon and get 2 Amber off of Full Moon. If I call Shadows, I get 3 creatures and potentially draw more Untamed creatures to increase the power of Full Moon on my later turn. So, Shadows it is. And step 1, go ahead and blow up the board. He's got a lot of power on his side of the board. I would rather he didn't. And I want Naughty the Thief in the middle. I don't know if that's necessarily the right choice, but I like having that be the creature that he kills with Hand of Dis if he pulls a Hand of Dis right now. I can start to pull off some Nexus shenanigans with that Library of the Damned. And of course, Dodger is also perfectly capable of generating Amber by fighting, or stealing Amber by fighting. Unfortunately, my hand is not particularly conducive to my plan right now. Leaning towards... Well, I shouldn't lean towards anything until I see what he puts on the board. Because what he does this turn will have a direct impact on what I choose to play. If he did nothing and just passed his turn right now, I would call Shadows and archive my key charge and heal 1 and then reap. And that would put me up to... Ooh, a Nexus himself and a Magda the Rat. Interesting. I'm still leaning towards Shadows. What did he do? Relentless Whispers? Yeah, I'm going to do Shadows. Dodger can fight and kill Magda the Rat. Oh, wait. It's elusive. He can't do that. Oh, well. I still get to steal 1 from that. Wait, didn't I? Oh, was he at 7? Oh. Well, I've probably lost this game. I don't think I had a choice, but For some reason I was thinking he was at 6, and the Dodger would give me the Amber so that he'd be able to forge this turn. But I was wrong. And I am almost certainly going to lose this game at this point. Yeah, this is bad. He chooses shadows. Um, Lights out, of course. What great choice. And a shadow self. I am doomed. I can concede here. I can't come back at this point. I don't have a way to come back. Because I can't even get the cards out of my hand to be able to draw something that might help. The most I can do is get... could do that. Oh, this is terrible. Yeah, I'm just going to concede. I don't have a way back. That hurts. Let's see if anybody wants to play me. Why am I in buy-sell trade? No one has replied to me on the general chat on the Discord. So I will be finding another random game. New game. And start. Once more, we're going to play Una Spring Cardine Tiger. Oh my gosh, dog. Why are you barking? Zune Dark. Good luck. Start the game. I'm going first. I want to keep this hand. I'm going to throw Toxin out. This, Toxin, play. In turn. Up against Dis, Sanctum, and Mars. Sanctum is going to be a pain. Yeah, Sanctum is going to be a pain. I will call Dis. I will see what I can get out of his hand by reaping. A Schuler, not bad. I'll play the Pit Demon. I expect the Pit Demon to die, and I expect him to blow up the Lash Broken Dreams with the Orm of Om. Gorm of Om. There we go. Gorn of Om. Sorry, I forgot to. What did he do? He reaped with Champion Nephew? That's interesting. An honorable claim. Okay, I don't understand that turn. I don't understand that turn at all. Now I have some decisions to make of my own. Um, I'll call. I think. Nah, calling this here is not the greatest. Oh. Peanut set on a railroad track. Heart was all in a flutter. I think I'm going to call Shadows. Bait and switch is unfortunately just too early in the game for me to get much out of it. I'm going to go ahead and use it to steal 1, but I'll do that and get a point of damage on Champion Nafiel, and then just throw out Naughty and Nexus. And my turn. Did not particularly like that turn, but mostly because I don't like throwing bait and switch away. But we can keep trading the same 2 amber back and forth all game long. Welcome, Zane Kyber. Thanks for watching. Guardian Demon. Play, fight, reap, heal 2 damage. Heal that amount of damage to another creature. Okay, so he needs to die, but for him to die, I have to be able to kill Champion Nafiel. And that's a bit of a tall order. Um, yeah. And he discards Arise. Do I want to? Yeah, I think I want to play Dis here. And man, maybe Untamed is better. But I really want the Dominator Bobble out there. Toxin, the worst thing that I could discard from Toxin would probably be Big Twig. Tentacus is unlikely to do me much good. Dominator Bobble would. I can reap twice, makes him discard a card. Alternatively, I could call Untamed, just get 3 creatures out there. 2 of which can at least look at Champion Nafiel and think about killing him. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and call Untamed. We'll cycle through a bit more of the deck. Play this on the left. Play this on the right. I didn't actually mean to play that on the right, but you know what? It'll be fine. And in my turn. Snack Lifter. I don't know why I'm excited about this card, because there are no freaking artifacts on the board. What I should be excited about is the Lost in the Woods. That lets me take care of Champion Nafiel and probably Toxin. Mind Barb, Toxin. Oh, you took out my Snack Lifter. Oh, well, I still have Lost in the Woods. I still have 3 untamed creatures. So this will work. I will obviously call Untamed. I will... yeah, I'll leave the Guardian Demon on the board. Reap and stun the Guardian Demon. Reap. And reap. And play Lost in the Woods. And I'll bounce Naughty and... I don't have any great desires to call Shadows right now at all, so I'll bounce Naughty and Nexus. And of course, the 2 that I didn't stun go back into decks. In turn. Yeah. Probably going to call Untamed. I'm probably going to call Dis next turn. I've got 2 Dis creatures, so when comparing Dis to Untamed, Dis is just about as strong. Sequus captures 1. No, he captures on Reap, not on play. Protectrix, I would like to kill. And destroy each elusive creature. So if I call Untamed, I can take out Protectrix. That would be nice. But not necessary. I think I would rather call Dis, get the key to Dis out into play and ready to go when I need it. If I need it. There's a very plausible chance that his deck has a Poltergeist, and he will use the key to Dis to blank my side. That's fine. I'm going to keep this Arise in reserve. And we'll play Shaffles on the left. We'll play Tentacus on the right. We'll play my Dominator Bobble. Hooray! We'll play Key to Dis. And then we will Reap with Toxin. And we will use Pit Demon's action to steal 1. And in my turn. There's my Naughty and my Nexus back. Might not be the same Nexus. This deck does have 2 of them. Ooh, Mars. I don't think this guy's played Mars yet. So something's going to come into play already. Is it going to be Blip Pip? No, it's going to be The Think drone. Okay. Mothership support to a creature, so he kills off Shaffles. That's a good call. And he's going to archive what? I don't know. What are you going to archive? Okay, you took out the Lightbringer. Because my deck does have elusive creatures, so picking that up makes a lot of sense. Walker, you're going to archive next. One of these two. It doesn't make sense to mix your archive between factions if you have a choice. No, he put a discard and a Sanctum card in his archive. I don't know that I would have done that. But no matter. I'm going to call Dis again. Mostly because I don't want to call Shadows, because I know he's got the kill each elusive creature in his hand. Or sorry, his archive, so he can just blow away my 2 elusives. We will Reap with that, which takes out the Mother Gun. I'm quite happy to do that. We will use this card's action to steal 1, which prevents him from forging. We will Reap. We will play the Library of the Damned. And yeah, I don't have anything I want to steal, so I think I will hold the Arise and call that a turn. Oh, wait. Oh, I've got one more thing I can do. Use the Dominator Bauble to activate Big Twig to stun and exhaust Sequus. The reason I target Sequus is because he's got the Capture 1 on Reap, and that plus 1 more is all he takes to stop me from forging a key next turn. And I do not use the key to Dis. Welcome to Community Showcase and Nobody Gaming TV. And I think I've already said, I haven't said hi to Commander Root, who I'm pretty certain is a bot. And Host Giveaway, who I'm also pretty certain is a bot. But if you're not, I apologize for assuming. And thank you for watching. Alright, so I've got a strong board state here. He's going to choose Dis and take up his hand. So now he has the Sanctum creature in hand that destroys all elusives. If he does something like, okay, so Charette, that's his answer to get me from being prevent me from forging a key. Plays out Toxin and the Guardian Demon. So right now I'm going to be calling Dis again. I don't see how I cannot. I call Dis. I get to archive a card. I will choose to archive the Full Moon. Start trying to build an archive of Untamed to pull off a power play. Use the Dominator Bauble to activate Big Twig, to Reap and stun Toxin. And then I will fight with Tentacus to take out Charette. And I will use the action of Pit Demon to steal 1. And Guardian Demon, at least right now, doesn't do anything. Because his ability on the Play Fight Reap, there's currently no damage on the board to move around. I guess there's 4 over here, because it doesn't have to be a friendly creature. So he can take 2 from there and proceed to not kill anything else. Past that, though, I got nothing. Um, can't run a disc creature into something to damage it. Part of the reason I chose Toxin. I also just don't want Toxin to cause me to discard something that could be really useful. And he pays me 1 to use that. And he blows up all of my demons. Wow. What do you know? This feels very much like a. So he played out the Venomous Vemos Lightbringer. Um, I am certainly using the key to Dis on my next turn. The question is, do I call Shadows or do I call Dis? I think I'm going to call Shadows here. I'm up 4 to 5, or I'm up 2 keys to none, and currently at 4 to 5 amber. So I call Shadows, I blow up all the creatures, and I play out 2 thieving creatures on either side of Shadow Self, and then throw out Nexus 2. And because the Lightbringer is out, I don't have to worry about him killing them. I do not want the cards from my archive. I blow up the board. And then I play Shadow Self. Play Naughty on the left. Play Dodger on the right. And we play Nexus. Doesn't really matter. And that's my turn. And between my play and his play, we've completely reset the board. Oh, but I've got such a good option with my Arise now, because I can pull back all 4 of those disc creatures at a moment's notice. Alternatively, I have my favorite play, which is Master Plan with an Arise. Unfortunately, all of my Untamed creatures are really. Well, no, I just put 3 in my. Or, yeah, 3 in my discard, so. I have Hunting Witch in hand, Full Moon in archive. I call Shadows next turn. Assuming I don't get enough amber from my creatures, I Master Plan Arise, and then I move right into the Untamed play where I can Arise all my Untamed creatures, Hunting Witch, Full Moon, reverse the order of those 2, Full Moon, Hunting Witch, and go from there. I call Shadows. I do not want my archive. I play Master Plan. I stick Arise under it. This is probably overkill at this point. I don't think he can. I'm not sure I'm actually going to get to pull off my awesome turn, because I'm going to be at a lot of amber. Oh man, and I have key charge, so I win next turn no matter what. Even if he can get me down to 5 amber, the game is just over. Unfortunately, I don't think I get to make my fun play. What would it be? I'd play Full Moon, pop the Arise, get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I get 10, 11 amber if I play this turn, and I have key charge in hand. Doesn't come to that. I've already won before I get to do it. But I did finally set up the combo that I like. Alright. Do one more with this deck. Continue to convince myself that this deck is good after the very, very disappointing Keyforge tournament on Tuesday. Switch back over to Una Spring Carding Tiger. See if anybody in the Discord is looking for a deck. Oh, Firesaw. Ta-da! Firesaw is somebody in the Discord. Let's see here. I get to go first. Ugh. Do I want to keep this hand? Let's see here. No, I really don't. I have one creature and four cards. Yeah, 3 or 4 cards I don't really want. So I'll take the mulligan. I'm sure I'll get something better. And in fact, I do. I'm going to call Untamed and throw out Big Twig. I like Big Twig as an opening turn creature. We'll end my turn and see what comes next. He throws out Fire Spitter and Fire Spitter. Okay. And follow the leader. For the remaining turn, each creature can fight. I will follow that up by calling Untamed. We will, of course, reap with Big Twig to exhaust and stun a Fire Spitter. We will play Murmook on the left. And he has Dis, so I don't want Big Twig to be in the middle. We'll play Nifflape on the left. And we will throw the Way of the Bear on Nifflape. And that feels like a good turn. Now, I expect a Hand of Dis to take out Murmook, just because he calls Dis, and that's what Dis does. So you're choosing Shadows. Mag to the Rat. Okay, I'm fine with that. The Nifflape, if I call... Ooh, the Evasion Sigil. Now that's interesting, but not for right now. I'm going to be calling Untamed, even though I have no Untamed cards, because I can use the Nifflape to murder Magda the Rat. Actually, I could hold on that. Instead of trading them off, and I use Big Twig to stun and exhaust Dodger and reap with Murmook. I gain 2 amber off of that play. I gain 4 amber total. He has Fire Spitter still on the board that would be available to use. I have Murmook and Big Twig. Alternatively, I could call Shadows. The Evasion Sigil isn't going to do me any good, so I'd be throwing out Naughty the Thief, activating him, stealing 1. And this isn't really a good call here. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Untamed play. Press my advantage while I have it. Nifflape ignores Taunt and Evasion, so he can take out the Niffle or the Mag to the Rat directly. I can reap with Big Twig to get Dodger out of commission, and just reap with Murmook. Puts me at 4. He's still just at 1, but with that Evasion Sigil, he can pull out some interesting combinations, I'm sure. Oh my gosh, Evasion Sigil, not Speed Sigil. Right. Don't know what I was thinking. I'm glad I didn't choose to do what I was going to. Flame Wreath gets +2/+2. Nuts. Quite a bit of Dis there. I think I'm going to... This is where it starts to get tricky. I would very much like to be able to call Shadows here, and most of the creatures are elusive. Stealing the Evasion Sigil is just worthless, and that's what I'm going to end up doing. I can't just keep delaying Shadows. I could keep going with Untamed. I don't like that, though, because he's trying to get a bigger board state built up. I'm going to go ahead and call Shadows. We're going to put 2 damage on the Succubus here. We're going to throw out the Nexus. Doesn't matter if it's the left or the right. And Naughty. Doesn't matter if it's left or the right. And Snecklifter will steal his Evasion Sigil. For whatever it's worth. We will steal it. And because of the Succubus, I only get to draw up to 5 cards. Which is disappointing. I will admit. And Mind Barb took out my other Nexus. Dominator Bobble. That would have been great to steal. Reaps with Succubus. Reaps with the Terror. And Reaps with Charette, I am sure. I will call Shadows, which lets me use Nexus to Reap, which lets me use the Dominator Bobble to Reap with Big Twig, which allows me to stun. Oh, go with the Fire Spitter. Use Naughty the Thief to steal one. And let's see if I can get Snecklifter to kill Succubus. I do. The Evasion Sigil, 8. Oh, it 8 in a rise. That's disappointing, but I get to draw my hand back up. And in turn. He chooses Shadows, plays out Mag to the Rat, which puts him up to 6. Me down to 3, plays a Dodger and a Seeker Needle. Okay. Let's see. I'm in a bit of a bind here. The only way I can prevent him from forging his key is to call Shadows, which I can continue the same thing I did last turn, which is Reap with Nexus, use Dominator Bobble, Reap with Big Twig, stun, in this case, Dodger, one of them. Can't stun them both. Oh, I've got Mermook. Never mind. I don't have to worry about that. His third house is Brobnar. He hasn't played Brobnar in a while. But I like the idea of stealing the Dominator Bobble permanently. This is a... I think I've got to call Dis here. So, if he were going to be able to forge a key, I would call Shadows. I'd use Naughty to prevent it. Because I have Mermook, I have a bit of wiggle room. I like to draw through my deck because he's starting to build up a sizable board state. If I call Dis, I think it's risky to force him to play Brobnar because he hasn't played Brobnar in a few turns, so he's got a handful of Brobnar cards. But I can't tell him to play Shadows. I don't really want to call Dis because of the because of the Dominator Bobble. So I'm going to call Dis and force him to play Brobnar and hope that his hand is not spectacular. Play Toxin on the right. Force you to play Brobnar. And I will rise and grab all of my shadow. And in my turn. Now he has to call Brobnar. Plays a third Fire Spitter. Holy fritolies. Plays a Troll. Clears the 2 stuns. I could really use that key to Dis now. I will be calling Shadows. I will be reaping with Nexus to use the Dominator Bobble to reap with Big Twig to stun a Fire Spitter. I will steal one with Naughty. I will play Shadow Self on the left. I'll play Nexus on the left. Now I have 2 Nexuses being protected by Shadow Self, and then play Snecklifter, doesn't matter, on the left, and take control of that Dominator Bobble. Would really prefer he not have that. And now I'm at 7, called check, which is here. Evasion Sigil. Burn the Stockpile was bad. And Troll takes out Big Twig. And the autocannon prevents the fire spitter from fighting. And War Drummer bounces all of the Brobnar cards. And so he plays them out freshly healed. Okay. That was interesting. Do I call this? Ooh, gosh. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 Shadows creatures in play. I call Shadows. There's just no two ways about that. You call Shadows when you have that much of a board state. I'm fully aware that Brobnar is probably going to murder me next turn. But that's really all I can do. Call Shadows. We will... think. There's nothing I can do to this board state. Oh, man. We will use Snecklifter to fight and run into the War Drummer. We'll Reap with Nexus to use that to kill that. The Snecklifter was dead either way, because even one Fire Spitter would kill it. We will use Naughty the Thief's action. We will Reap, and can't Reap with that. We will play a Dodger on the right. With 3 Fire Spitters in play, my board is going to get destroyed. So I'm really hoping I draw my Key to Dis now. Hey, look, it's Key to Dis. How quaint. So, in his deck, the only thing I can think of that would, well, a Snecklifter would do it. Ooh. Ghostly Hand. It gives him 2 Amber. Anyways, I was about to say the only thing I can think of that would stop that Key to Dis would be a, Actually, I can't think of anything. There's an action that I can't, for the life of me, remember what it's called, to put artifacts on top of my deck. Bait and switch. That gets me down to 5. Well, crap. Well, I got lucky with the evasion signal there. So he didn't call Brobnar, so I'm left in a position where I don't know if I actually want to do what I was planning to do. If I call Dis, I can stop him from forging a key, because I can use my Naughty the Thief to gain an Ember. Alternatively, I could call Shadows and get myself a ton of Amber and steal a ton, because I could kill Magda the Rat. Not sure. I mean, yes, getting Key to Dis out there would be nice. He wouldn't be able to forge his key. I take a card out of his hand, but I get 4, 5, 6 Amber by calling Shadows, and he's already burned his bait and switch. I have to call Shadows here. I will... It doesn't matter. I will fight and run you into Magda the Rat. And discard Ritual Balance. That's fine. I will fight with Dodger to take out Magda the Rat. And successfully do that. I will use Naughty's action to steal 1. I will Reap. And I will Reap. Using that to, let's say, hit a Dodger. And I have no Shadows cards in hand, but that was still a very productive turn. I'm now at 11 Amber to his 2. Troll takes out Shadow Self. Gauntlet of Command, so the Fire Spitter doesn't go. The next Fire Spitter goes. He's successful. Would like to not... Nope, he board wiped me. That is perfectly fine, though. I'm still at 11 amber to his 2. Plays the Chieftain, gets to reap with one of his creatures. Way over here, that Troll. Smash, he gets to stun one of his creatures. I will call this. I will archive the key charge. I will play the key to this. And I'll play Tentacus. Knowing full well Tentacus is likely to die. Yes. And that's all I can do. Because he killed all my creatures. How dare he? How dare you, sir? Unfortunately, I don't know that I'm going to have a great way to... Well, he called Shadows. I think he would have been better served calling Brobnar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just reap across the board. Maybe I'm wrong. So, he steals 1 by reaping with Dodger. And gains 1 by reaping with Dodger. That was 3 amber. 4 amber off the Restless Whispers. Puts 2 damage on Tentacus. I don't care. Yeah, I think he might have been better served calling Brobnar there. Not certain, but seems likely. There's no way I can stop him from forging a key. He's at 9. The best I can do is drain him of 1. So I'm going to call Untamed. I want to call Untamed. I could call this. Throw the Shaffles down after I clear the board. I gain 1 amber. Archive a card. That puts me at 6, and he doesn't have any thieving creatures on the board. And starts trying to set me up for the full moon play. Yeah, actually, I think I'm going to call this here. I think this is the better play. It's trying to set me up for a future draw. Which it's not going to do. But, you know. I have no untamed creatures left, so I can't really get better. At least not in the immediate term. But I can set up possibly a key charge play down the road. Yeah, we're going to call this. We're going to... No, I don't want my archive. Reap with this guy. We're going to blow up the board. Oh, it gives me my Charette Amber back too. I forgot about that. Play Shaffles. Make Shaffles bigger. Archive a card. And in my turn. I'm at 9. His bait and switch is still in his discard pile. He plays out Schuler, so he gets to steal 1. Charette. Okay, he got me under the limit. Wow. That's a lot of dis. I will admit to being somewhat shocked at that. Wow. I think I have to call Untamed here and see about trying to recover a bit. The reason Untamed gives me a recovery option is because I do get to play the Nepentine Seed, and if I so choose, that lets me go and grab my key to Dis. Unfortunately, I don't gain an Amber here. Because I've got Bait and Switch in hand, and if I could have gained an Amber, I would be looking at the plausible scenario where I could forge my key and then Bait and Switch. Yeah, not surprised he's going to start limiting my options. What did I discard? No, my Master Plan! I love Master Plan. I think it's one of the best cards in the game. Going to call this. Going to burn the Nepothene Seed. No, I don't want my archive. Burn the Nepothene Seed to go and grab the key to this. Play the key to this. Play the Lash Broken Dreams. Use this card's ability to activate Nifflequeen to fight. And oh, I completely forgot how Evasion Signal actually worked. Use that to protect my bait and switch. In turn. Loot the bodies. Follow the leader. He gets to fight with everything. War Drummer. You know that I'm blowing up the board next turn. That's not going to be a surprise to anyone. We're both at 5. There you go. You killed one, so now you're at 6. Unfortunately, I may actually... Ooh. That's a slight problem for me. So, because he's at 7, I can't exactly stop him from forging his second key. Would really, really like to be able to stop him from forging his second key. The best I could do would be call Shadows, pull in my archive, and steal 1 with the bait and switch, which is not sufficient. So I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to call Shadows, because it gets me a board presence, and it's a pretty strong board presence, to be honest. Shadows. I don't want my archive. Blow up the board. Play Bullet Eye. Play Nexus. And screw up because I should have played that before I played anything else, so I could get the Amber at least. Now I just have to discard it because I don't want to kill Bullet Eye. Oh well. In turn. Draw a bunch of cards. Would love to draw my Snecklifter and be able to play Snecklifter for a 3rd time. Mag to the Rat. You steal 2. Double Mag to the Rat. Oh, boy. I have to call Shadows. Fortunately, I can kill off one of the Mag to the Rats. No, I don't want my archive. Just directly with Bullet Eye. And you're going to fight the other one. Because you can do that for free. Assuming I didn't... Yeah, I didn't. Gotta remember that Evasion Sigil. Gosh. Play that card on the left. Throw out a bunch of creatures. He's at 3. I'm at 8. Check. 1, 2. Just not quite enough. Burn the stockpile. Because I was at 7. Autocannon. And he's at 4. I have to call Shadows. I would love to do something slightly different here, but I really don't have a choice. I call Shadows. I do not want my archive, correct? Yeah. I fight with Dodger. I fight with Dodger. You're freaking kidding me. I reap with this guy to kill the Fire Spitter. I am disappointed that Evasion Signal has stopped me twice. And could stop me a 3rd time. Not likely to, but could. Darn it. If one of those two had gone off, I would be a lot more confident about this choice. I'm going to